What's up, y'all? It's your girl Stacy the Intuitive, back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a reading. If you're seeing this video and you're kind of in a space where you're feeling like giving up, like you're feeling like what you want to happen is never going to happen for you, you're feeling like what you're dreaming is a pipe dream and that you don't know how whatever you want to happen could ever turn out for you, then this video is most likely for you. If you found your way to this energy while you're feeling that way, then there's probably some type of message here for you, and I hope that you can take something from it. I'm making this video because if we're being totally honest, I'm kind of feeling this way today. You know, I come here and I do my encouraging messages and, you know, I try to encourage and shed my light as much as I can, but I'm also on this journey, which is why it's so important to me that I share those things, which is why it feels so, it's like such a passionate endeavor for me to share the truth about what I'm feeling moment to moment and things like that. And a lot of the time I love to share the light because I can feel myself how infectious it is. The light of hope, the light of inspiration. It's something that I just want to get out because it's bursting out of me like a literal firecracker. But there are also times where I feel the opposite end of the spectrum and I feel hopeless and helpless. I'm like, I can't do anything to make my dreams come true, and like things are moving slowly and like maybe it won't ever happen. And that's honest and that's raw and that's real. And, you know, I don't know if I've ever come here in this energy, or at the very least to share it in this way. But, you know, I was feeling very down and it was feeling very hard to get myself out of the rut myself. And I'm still kind of in it. And one thing I just kept saying to myself is that typically, you know, the rise comes after the fall, you know. When it's starting to feel the worst is the time when you need to make sure you stay up because it's about to get good. And even just saying that message to myself kind of felt like really, like, I don't want to hear that. Like, you know, people always say that, whatever. But at the very least, let me just try to get on here, share a message. If I can offer myself that external perspective, hopefully offering it to you guys will also bring something for me. And I hope that you guys will enjoy this, you know. And I'm happy that even though I feel that I might not have very much to give at this moment because of the fact that I'm feeling like maybe what I'm giving, or you might be feeling the same, what I'm giving is not going to produce certain results or whatever, that at the very least I can come here and find some purpose in this feeling, I guess. So I'm going to be going ahead. I'm going to do 2 oracle cards. One with the Power of Love oracle, one with the Sacred Forest oracle. I tried to choose my most like compassionate decks for this, and then we're going to do tarot with the Modern Witch tarot deck, using some selenite to cleanse. Let's cleanse you. Let's cleanse me. Let's get into it. I hope that I can offer you guys some meaningful messages. Calling upon God to, first of all, just offer my thanks for this space, for this universe, and that although sometimes we may not be sure of where to look to find gratitude, there's always something to be grateful for. Thank you, God, for this creation and allowing me to be a part of this creation, allowing me to experience more of your creation and the people that I read for, that I connect with. Calling upon God, thank you for protecting this space. Thank you for allowing me to be a vessel for whatever messages that you are trying to spread to the collective, to be a source of expanded consciousness, God. Thank you to my wonderful team, and thank you to the teams of those who are connecting. Thank you for this collaboration of energy so that we may produce something very special. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you to my wonderful team of benevolence. I'm calling upon messages for the highest and greatest good of the people who may be feeling these emotions like I'm feeling right now. Messages that'll help us real, raw, honest, and truthful, because that's what we want, right? We don't want some like sugar-coated message about, oh, it's gonna be fine. Like, if it's not gonna work out, if there's a chance it's not gonna work out, please guide us through that. Okay. So more cards than I thought would come out came out. That's okay. We have responsibility, we have tolerance and empathy, and then we're gonna do a couple or one with this, whatever comes out. Okay. So we have responsibility. You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express, which talks about it's real, it's raw. We are responsible for the way that we think about the things that are happening in our lives. for our circumstances, for the perspectives that we conjure up. And that's the truth. When we say from within and so without, it's not necessarily about the fact that you've attracted this, right? The attraction happens in the way that you perceive it, whether you like it or not. What naturally comes from within your being is yours, and it's your responsibility to take accountability for what it is, and what reactions it evokes from within you, because you are responsible through and through for your reactions to things, for the emergence of things that come from within you. And that's the truth, because at every single road, at every single circumstance, regardless of whatever influence, there is a piece of you within it, and there is going to be a piece of your mind, your truth, that has led you to believing, to assimilating whatever type of belief system that you are enveloped in. Just because people tell you that all squirrels are mean, well, the stories that you create about that truth that you have assimilated will be completely of your own self, will be completely of your own, what's it called? Like, of your own resonance, essentially. So you can go around telling people that squirrels are mean, but what stories do you create out of that? Squirrels are going to be harming you, that they're going to be, they're overwhelming our population, whatever have you, whatever context you create is yours. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at there. The squirrel example is not a good one. I'm sorry, guys. Not my finest hour for examples, but you get what I mean. It's like the stories that you create around it. Someone can have you look up at the sky and tell you something about clouds, but the stories and context that you create surrounding clouds going through and through will always be yours. Essentially, what we're getting at there is that your essence is your essence, and is your responsibility to handle it and show up with it in a way that is authentic to you. And even if it's not authentic to you, it's more so in that energy of responsibility that you find your truth, right? The way that you handle your personal responsibility to check all the information that is coming in through your own center of resonance. How do you handle that? Does it truly resonate with you? And even if you're taking on universal truths, again, that responsibility, when you realize that something is a universal truth that you've taken on, it is that in that moment where you take on that responsibility and that you create a story from that place, that you then become the conductor of whatever energy that is flowing from you. That's what I got from that card. And then we have tolerance. You appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. So again, this is just all going to that overarching message of people may come to you with different points of view and things like that. And it's this balancing act of like, when we become aware of our personal responsibility to our perceptions and things, but also our personal responsibility to others' perceptions and how we perceive them, right? This responsibility energy is not at all about refuting, but instead about finding compassion and empathy, which will relate to our next card. Finding empathy about how people get to where they get within their own perspectives. And let's just get to the empathy card. It says, you feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. And you know what this is actually bringing up for me right now, guys, is when you're on a journey, it's so interesting because a lot of the time we think solely about ourselves on that journey. And we don't think about all the other people who are on that journey. And, I actually had this moment today as I was thinking about all this stuff. And I thought like, I'm feeling like this and everything. And I'm feeling like it's not going to work out. And maybe I'll have to settle for something that I don't want to do. Or maybe I'll have to settle in life. And maybe that'll be my thing, like I won't be able to do something that makes me truly happy. I'll have to work in corporate America and just do that. But then I thought about the fact too, there's so many people who live like that. And who am I to think that, just because, I have a dream that I should be any different, because I do have a very humble heart. And that's one of my biggest goals in life, because I know the importance of having a humble heart. And what really is coming up for me through this empathy card is that the way that you're feeling, so many people have felt. So many people have that perspective, and you'd be surprised that that's probably the overarching perspective in the collective. For those of you who are feeling like giving up, for those of you who are feeling like your dreams might not come true, who are feeling like you might be living in the thick of a pipe dream. For those of you who are feeling like, it's kind of useless to try, there's this energy here of empathy that you need to have for those who are feeling that exact same emotion. And I feel like it will bring this total transmutation and shift of the energy within you. Because although it is your responsibility to do something different with that perspective, it also is offering you another point of view, so that as you walk this journey, you understand that the journey that you walk is a unique one because it's yours, due to that responsibility card, right? Because of the perspective that you have emerged with that will get you to cross the finish line. It is a unique one, but it's also a collective one. And the collective energy resides a lot more in the very real and raw spaces where you can find empathy, as opposed to the spaces where, the least possible outcome happens. And I don't want to say least possible, but you get what I mean. The outcome that you don't see as often, right? The outcome that is across the bridge that very many have still yet to pass or cross, or very many have decided to give up on. So I'm really getting that this energy for those of us, and it's taking on a really interesting, this reading is taking on a very interesting turn. Because what I'm getting here is that this time of feeling this way is less about you and more about others. The perspective that you're feeling is less about you and more about others. And what you are choosing to do with this doubt, with this feeling, let me fix the camera. What you choose to do with this doubt, with this feeling that's coming up for you, is what makes this all important. Because then we got activation, which is the spirit guardian of the spring, this activation card, and this acceptance card. And a lot of us know that the best way to achieve these journeys and these goals is to reach a level of total acceptance. This is a story that I've heard time and time again. People who on these journeys of just trying to reach their greatest success, the things that they truly want in life, they didn't get it until they were willing to truly give up on it. And then they found that once they reached that level of acceptance for where they were and where they are, that is when they found that things have changed. And really, that energy that activates, the unfoldment of their dreams coming true is typically this activation energy of acceptance. Let's get deeper into this because I feel a bigger message wanting to come through. So, this acceptance energy that wants to come out. It's interesting because it feels so external, and I really want to understand where this external is, right? Maybe what it's saying is that this way of thinking, this belief that you need to give up is not yours. And you know what? I'm beginning to understand that. Because the version of you that has the want, that has the desire, obviously that is the truest version of you, right? The version of you that has hope, the version of you that emerges from this pure place, that wants something, that desires something, that hopes for it to be yours. That is the truth of you, right? And it's your responsibility to hold space for that version of you, that essential energy of you. But I think that it's so important what's coming through here is that the other perspective, the other end of that, the feeling of wanting to give up. A lot of us just want to push past that, move past it, make it like it, it's something to run away from. But what's being asked of you here is to accept the truth of that as well. To accept the truth of that as well. But accepting the truth not from a defeated place, but rather from a place of tolerance and empathy. And it is from that space that you then move into this acceptance. And I need one more card so that I can better understand this acceptance, because I understand the energy of when you shift into this empathy and you validate that other perspective that may not be yours, but that is very valid. There's this energy of acceptance of both sides that come through, of truth, which once you activate that energy of truth, it obviously makes sense that you would then step into your truth. So let's get another card. Playfulness. Interesting. So we have acceptance and playfulness. Okay. Activation, acceptance, and playfulness. I think what's also being asked of you in this, once you reach this energy of acceptance, it can stop being so heavy and you can then move into this space of play. But it is required that you take heed, that you give recognition to the other side of this pure place, because there's some truth to be uncovered there. Let's talk about this truth to be uncovered on the other side. Let's talk about this other perspective and our need to validate it. I wasn't expecting that, but those messages are oftentimes the best. The ones that you don't expect. Because the way that you're thinking prior has not been helping you out of it. So sometimes you got to choose another way of thinking. Sometimes you've got to find another way. Decision, inner strength. So we have this unavailability energy, and that's the thing, like apathy. There's this apathy, this lack of care. And you know what? I feel like there's this apathy and just this want to move forward. So interesting. But then we have this King of Swords, and initially when I got this, I was like, okay, that's the 7. And I feel like this moving forward to this King of Swords energy with the 7, it becomes deceptive because of what you have to do in this 4 of Cups in order to get there. And that's what's really throwing me. I feel that this wanting to move forward energy actually has this apathy energy attached to it. Like this, like not caring about the other side. It's really interesting. And maybe it has more to do with the relationship that we have with the self. And even if not, I feel like going that route a little bit will help me. So there is this side of you. Yes, okay, let's get to it. If I bring it to that perspective, it's helping me. There is this side of you that feels hopeless and helpless and feels afraid and feels scared and feels like it might not work out. That side of you is real. It's valid. It hurts. You know, it feels pain in its heart about it. And I'm feeling that, like I'm feeling it. And I feel like in this energy of wanting to move forward so bad, we kind of neglect that side. Why am I getting like teary-eyed? Because it's real. It's real. We kind of neglect that side of ourselves. And even so, maybe other people, obviously from within and so without. So I feel like there's been this energy within us of ignoring that side that feels that way. And maybe we get frustrated and maybe we get to this energy of, oh, I'm going to give up. But what rather is that this side needs to experience empathy. It needs to experience tolerance, because that side of you is very valid and real. That's crazy. That side of you that wants to give up, it's real. Okay, sorry, y'all. I ran out of storage, which is so frustrating because now I'm going to have to edit this and it's going to take longer to upload, but it's fine. So anyway, like I was getting at, there's this energy of like invalidating this part of you, this emotion within you. And that's really interesting in this want to move forward. It's like that is the reason that you're not moving forward, actually. And I see it very clearly. Is because this side of you needs to be heard before you can move forward. This is a very emotional reading. Like, I could cry right now, but also maybe because my emotions are attached to it. But that side of you wants to be heard, and because we got the King of Swords, and there's this beauty about this energy of like wanting to move forward and be the King of Swords, but is becoming the King of Swords that great if you have to write off everyone to get there? It's kind of like the person who gets rich and then, you know, all the little people who are hoping to get there someday, or who were exactly where that King of Swords got when they were unsure of how to get there. It's like if that King of Swords were to go and like write off all those people and call them imbeciles and all those things, yet Yes, he's the King of Swords. Yes, he has figured out how to do it. He has this information and knowledge, but that writing off makes the entirety of the picture incomplete. It lacks the necessary part of the journey in order for the message to actually have any real long withstanding impacts, you know, at least to a larger group of people, at least to have, like I said, real long withstanding wide scale impact. And then we have the Two of Swords and the Strength card. And what I really feel with this card here is this energy. The King of Swords has the strength to look at both sides, right? Like, there has to be, the King of Swords has to be strong enough to look at both sides, both angles, both truths. Otherwise, you're not the King of Swords. You're just somebody waving around a sword with a singular perspective. But until you allow yourself to see the double-edged end of the sword, because keep in mind, even though it's one sword, it is double-edged. If you focus on one side, then you're just painting an illusion. Okay, I get it. There's something about this energy that's coming up, this feeling. It wants to be heard. And that's why you keep coming back here. That's why you keep feeling like, oh my God, I'm not going to get there. I'm like ready to give up. That's not what this feeling is intended to bring you. But the reason you keep finding yourself going back there is because there's something to be heard in that space. Okay? So let's get a little bit about what do we need to hear? What is this Four of Cups energy, like this like unavailable, this apathetic energy? So we have Justice and Nine of Cups. And to me, that just says that energy is the reason that you will receive this justice. That energy has the key to this Nine of Cups, this wish fulfillment. And that's why I get like this tolerance. Can you tolerate your own point of view? Because tolerance says you appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. There is love in that version of you. And it can even be the people who are doubting you or whatever, the people around you who make you feel like you doubt yourself, right? Because a lot of the time when you're trying to walk these journeys, guys, like there are a lot of people who doubt. And I was wondering, like, what is this other perspective? You know, a lot of the time for me too, like I try to push past those perspectives. I think it's important to a degree, but you know, people who might be like, oh, you probably should find something more practical, or oh, that might not work out, so what's your other, you know, like those types of people who doubt your plan. There's this energy that says here, you appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. You feel and understand the emotions of another. The reason that emotion needs to be felt within you, because I feel like there's this lack of ability to connect with the people who also might be experiencing that side, who might have given up on that side and stuff like that. It'll bring you this deeper level to deeper ability to connect. And I think that this is an important part of this journey towards success. There's this energy. It's like, this is an important part of your journey towards success, not only for justice for yourself, right? Your own fulfillment, but also justice slightly for those people, so that when you do win, you're not this person who's like, haha, I won and you didn't. Wow. So that you don't become this person who's like, haha, I won and you didn't. This part of you needs to be heard, because then if you don't hear it, you're never going to hear those people. And I'm literally going to go after this video and I'm just going to cry my eyes out because I just have to. And that's probably why the video turned off, so that I could take a moment to cry. But I'll do that after. Trust me, God, I will. And don't take that any kind of way, y'all. I am a crier through and through. I appreciate crying. I encourage you to after this video as well. What more wants to come out? This is a pretty big message. I get it, though. I get it. We have the Knight of Swords, this rushing energy with the perspective. It's like you have this sword. To me, this is this energy of like, I need to get there. I have a goal. It's like a person rushing towards a goal without all the information they need. And you go with this perspective. This is kind of like you going to like defend yourself in like a legal hearing or something. Like, let's just say it like that. You going to defend yourself in a legal hearing and you are very sure about your perspective, but you didn't take the time to go and, you know, brush up on your monologue and see what you want to say. You didn't take the time to go and review the facts. although you might have a basis for something here and you have a sword and there is some truth there, you don't want to be rash with the way that you approach, with your mindset. And this is bringing me this even bigger feeling, because again, with this responsibility, you are aware of the power of the thought of your thoughts and the amount of love that you express. I feel like for the people watching, this is a very, very important, very specific message. This feels like a personal reading. The way that you embody your success, your responsibility, and it's in these moments that God is giving you opportunity right now to really take heed of that responsibility and to become even better than you could have ever imagined, right? I think that when we go so fast, it is super easy to get into the Four of Cups. For me, for even me, like, I say this is truth for myself, right? Like, wanting to get there so bad. I've really been, I'm just trying to get away from this. Maybe neglecting that part of me along the way, but also neglecting, like, the feelings of the people along the way who are witnessing my journey, you know? Ugh, there's too much. Like, this is making me emotional. Like, the people that you care about and things like that. And this playfulness energy is very important, because this playfulness will help you to be a light, not only to yourself, but those in your life. Where your Nine of Cups will bring them the Nine of Cups, where you can then utilize this responsibility as power, and you can empower others. But I do feel that there's this energy here that you've, like, God and the divine have been trying to get you to revisit, because there has been this lack of empathy, and it all starts within first, but it is so strong that it is very much pouring into the outside of your life. I know it's so easy to get into that energy of, like, everybody wants me to fail, they never thought I was going to do well, blah, blah, blah. And I absolutely detest those messages. I want to say that, for one, because I don't like when people in tarot land, they focus solely on all the people who are out to get. I'm just like, if people are just out to get you all the time, you know, like, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I really don't like messages like that. I'm like, if that is literally all that is consuming your vibration, I don't know what to tell you. I think you need to reevaluate. Let's not get into that. And there's something to be empathetic about as well. But I think here, it's that type of mindset of, you know, everyone's against me. Everybody wants me to fail. You know, like, people, they don't understand. But those people do understand. They actually probably understand you better than you, and having their perspective would be helpful for you in overcoming this journey. Those people probably could have used someone too that just believed in their... This phone situation is just not working. But anyway, those same people that you feel maybe trying to hold you back or whatever, they could have probably just used someone who dared to care about their dream too, who cared enough to shine a light on that dream for as long as possible until it could happen for them. That other perspective is so important here. And I have been wanting to push it away so bad. Like, I've been like, I don't want to be in this energy of, like, oh, it's not going to happen for me or whatever, because, you know, it makes you want to give up. But that line of, like, it makes you want to give up is the most important factor, because it's you having not given up, validating that feeling of wanting to give up, that grants you this justice and this victory, that you deserve this because you didn't give up, that you deserve this because it was your wish fulfillment, and you deserve wish fulfillment. That is what will grant you the dream that comes true. I think it's sometimes just wanting to go too fast towards the destination that gets us lost in our overall intention. But I think that what's happening here is that God and the divine are trying to make you more all-encompassing in this journey, in the way that it happens, and that it provides this energy here to all the parts. The part of you that was offering this cup of emotion, of, like, this feeling of defeat and whatever, that you didn't even want to look at. You're like, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to get there. Otherwise, I want to give up and I don't want to do it anymore. You know, like, or otherwise, I want to Just move forward and forget that, right? I'm over it. But that feeling doesn't want you to be over it. It wants you to address how it feels. It wants you to give it empathy and understanding about why it feels the way it feels. I want to ask, why is it important to acknowledge this feeling? Okay. Why is it important to acknowledge this feeling? We have the Fool taking a leap of faith, right? Ace of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Ooh. And Hermit. At first I was like, I don't get it, but now I do. This feeling, the importance of addressing this feeling is because that is where you need to leap off from. That's where you're supposed to leap off from. This Ace of Pentacles is being offered to this Three of Swords. This painful perspective, these heartbreaking truths, this heartbreaking information that resides within you. Your internal heartbreak, your pain. That is what creates this Ace of Pentacles. You daring to take this leap of faith despite that pain is the Ace of Pentacles. It is the ground that you will build from, right? It's the ground that you will build from. And a lot of the time we try to build from this high feeling of like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to do this and I know I can do it. And, you know, and that's beautiful and it's amazing to build from that place. But you don't want to get up there, build, and then have to come down here. Sometimes you will. Sometimes that's the journey. But in this circumstance, it's saying that that's not what you're supposed to do here. You need to start from ground zero. And that is what will bring you more, right? So why is this Ace of Pentacles being offered to this Three of Swords? Why is that the place we're building from? Because that's the unknown. Okay. We also have some other things. So what I got first was like, that's the unknown with the Moon card. And that could also be this energy of like going on a journey. When I was thinking about that unknown energy, to me, it's just like this perception of like, it's much grander than you can ever perceive. And so for that reason, it needs to be from the unknown, because if you were to, and that's kind of where I'm getting this Eight of Cups too, because if you were to jump off from this place of thinking that you have it all figured out, like you know how it's supposed to go, that actually might cause you a little bit of trouble in the end. And this acceptance energy, acceptance of the journey itself and where it is leading you, is what will lead you to where you want to be. Because then we have right after the Eight of Cups is this Queen of Swords and this Queen of Wands, which is like your certainty about your confidence in where you're going. That is what should lead you, not this focus, this overly focused and overly attached mindset about how you're going to get there or what it is going to, like, what it's going to look like, what the path is going to unfold like, but rather your confidence in getting there. And so I feel like we're going into this unknown space and walking away from all these cups that we thought would bring fulfillment, and rather getting deep and real and raw into these cups that we so desperately avoided, in order to come to acceptance of the entire picture, so that we may be looking through the eyes of acceptance as we navigate forward towards this journey with confidence and knowing that we will get to where we need to get. And that is where this acceptance comes through, because it's not about accepting defeat. Sometimes when we get to this energy of feeling like we're ready to give up and stuff, it's that we're accepting defeat rather than accepting the truth, accepting what is, accepting those feelings as they are, the feeling of wanting to give up, the feeling that it's not working out. But that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be giving into those feelings. We're supposed to be accepting what is coming up, the entirety of the picture, instead of trying to reject that singular part, right? We're not trying to reject the truth. And sometimes these emotions that are coming through that we're feeling right now, those are the truth, right? And those truths will get us to embrace the unknown. But embracing the unknown does not mean giving up, but instead it means being confident enough to know that we can go into the unknown and come out on the other side with more than we had ever imagined. And it's our responsibility to choose that. Opportunity resides on the other side. Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands. She's confident about this opportunity. There's no need to fret. There is power in your thoughts, and you can transmute that energy, but you can't transmute this if you're avoiding. You can't transmute if you're avoiding. You have to accept the feelings that are coming through, and you have to do something with them, right? You have to allow that lack of confidence energy that's coming through and your defeat and your readiness to give up. You have to allow it to transform into confidence and understand. Allow yourself to really go deep and to understand why you might feel this lack of confidence, to understand why you might not be willing to accept where you are and what those feelings are. Why don't you want to accept them, right? Why don't you want to accept that feeling of wanting to give up? Not succumbing to it, but rather accepting that it exists. It's hard to go there. But like we said, the Two of Swords and Strength, the Strength card comes not in wielding this singular sword. I can't even reach it anymore. But instead in being willing to look at both sides of the picture and see them for what they are. Remember, that King of Swords can become the Seven very quickly, the Seven of Swords very quickly through this way of being, through avoiding the necessary truths. Okay? I guess the last question I want to ask here, what I'm really kind of still lacking an understanding of is, what's this? I guess we already asked, right? We said, like, what is the significance of the, like, the emotions you're avoiding? We got the Justice comes from that space. So what am I wondering? The Justice comes from that space. So how do we get there? How do we get to the Justice from those painful emotions? Obviously by offering ourselves empathy and understanding why we feel that way, but what's more about that? Okay. And we have the Two of Pentacles, priorities, mentally imprisoned by priorities, right? We need to get more into the emotional space. So I think that there's this energy of maybe in the past you prioritize like this very analytical way of thinking about getting there. Like, I need to get there. I see the facts. I see the truth. I'm the King of Swords. This is true for me. I'm trying to get there. But rather, you need to get into this feeling space. And it's getting into this feeling space, acknowledging your feelings and what matters to you, that actually makes the feelings of satisfaction, of wish fulfillment, all the more real. It's not about the facts, and that's what I'm just now understanding. It's not about the facts. It's not about the mental plane. It's about the emotional plane and the transmutation of feelings from one state to the next, and how these feelings that you're avoiding validate these feelings themselves, of what feels good, of what is satisfactory, of what feels like justice. Why does it feel like justice? Because you feel like you've been wronged in some way. You have to figure out what that means for you, whether it just be like the corporate world has wronged you. Why does it feel like justice? Because you don't get to express your soul in some way, right? It's justice when you get to express your soul. It's not justice if it just happens and you don't even care about the parts of you that, you know. Anyway, like I was saying, it's not justice if you don't give a voice to those parts of you that are yearning to be heard. If you yourself won't even hear them, okay? So y'all, my camera is fighting with me. Does not want me to complete this video, but I think that I got a good enough message out there. If at the very least the message was only for me. We'll see. Hopefully I can easily edit this. It's just so much because I literally have to wait till the next day now to edit this video till it like uploads on my computer, but it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this message resonated in some way. We're gonna leave it here, leave the rest of your interpretation. Please tell me how this resonated for you. Thank you for allowing me this space to be vulnerable with you guys. I think that I've come out of this transformed at the very least. That's the most important thing. And I'm gonna go and think about this myself and cry a little bit and be excited for what's next to come. Okay? Your dreams are worthy. Okay, your dreams are worthy of being acknowledged, and so too are the parts of you that feel that it's not possible, because I'm rooting for that part, and I know that you are too. And if you're rooting for that part of you, then it's worth acknowledging that part so that it can know that it has your support. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye.